Hello everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Pillars of Eternity 2 Deadfire. So this is it. This is the final battle before we actually talk with Eothas. So without further ado, let's get on with it. Alright, the final battle. Let's make sure he goes in first.
What can I do?
And then let's put everybody else in front of us.
So now it comes to this, Mika.
Tugging on the frilled cuffs of his sleeves, Captain Ferrante strolls confidently forward. With a flick of his hands, he signals to the posse of a well-armed pirates behind him.
You think to steal my golden dream, but I will not allow it to happen.
He embellishes an aristocratic bow as he draws arms against you.
My gratitude is yours for disabling the storms. It seems I did not require Rivan's ship to reach Ukaizo in the end.
Let me hurt you. Walk away while you still can.
You jest in the face of your death, huh? Allow me to admit how grandly I will enjoy ending you. Until the next life? Nor perhaps not, considering.
Alright, the final battle of the game. Start now. Okay, let's we have summons, we have our tank tanking up everyone. We don't want anybody to get past the tank. That's going to be very important. What I want to do is, they have a couple of priests and a couple of wizards in the back. So what I need to do is try to either focus fire some people down or try to get back there and get those guys. So let's get our summons up here to split the aggro with our tank. They are fodder. Let's see if I can try to jump back here.
Not a chance.
I think I'm out of range. Okay, so let's reevaluate where we are and make sure my tank stays up. And he's not jumping. Yeah, so he's out of range. I think he's stunned now. Yeah, he's stunned. Alright, let's top everybody off. Let's get our spell here. Want to make sure everybody's topped off. I'm going to drop some AoE. Like right about here. Should be good. No, I think he's out of range. Okay. Those AoEs have lower range. Yeah, that's out of range too. Okay. Let's try to get these guys in the front line, I guess, down. I'm gonna try to prevent them healing those guys in the front. See if we can move around here and cast our delayed fireball. I want to make sure everybody's topped off at all times, because you can drop a character pretty fast in this game, especially in this fight. Alright, delayed fireballs went off. Let's make sure we get everybody healed up. Yeah, let's do that big heal. Good, we did a pretty good amount of damage to the delayed fireball. Okay, let's try to do Venabloom. And our guy's not able to jump just yet. We'll continue what we're doing. It's a slow, steady fight. Warlock's getting a little low, so let's get him healed up. I can also heal with my Hunter too. He's part Chanter. Oh yeah, I also have a Suppress Affliction, which will help with my Warlock's disabled spells. Alright, so now we can jump. He's low though, so I just need to be careful. Alright, so there he goes. He's in the back. They're all dazed. That'll distract them long enough to kill other people. That's kind of his goal. We need to keep him buffed up so that he doesn't die and he does serve his purpose. Alright, I think we're in a good spot now. I'm gonna fast forward this so that we don't have to sit here and watch them just keep healing and we keep wearing them down. So I will come back when we are close to being done. Alright, we are almost done here. We have a couple more guys left and my Warlock did finally die. I just re-resurrected him, so he should be good to go. Let's try to keep him from dying again. I'll heal him up with this.
It's embarrassing.
There we go. Oh boy. I'm getting attacked now by Ferrante. I'm gonna try to keep my mage alive. Don't want it harder to go down.
Nothing I can do.
So this is about it. Just have Ferrante and one other person here. And then after that we'll be done. Yeah, I don't want my warlock to go down again. Even though it doesn't matter, there's no more fights after this. So, okay, so they're good.
Yes?
Okay, that was a fight. We did lose our guy again, which is, you know, that happens. I do wonder if we actually killed Ferrante earlier, or even both captains from the pirates earlier. I wonder what would happen. I wonder if they would actually show up here or not. Oh well, who knows. So that's going to be it for that fight. That's the last fight. We have to go in, like, this way, actually. Not that way. Where do we need to go? We need to go to... down there. There we go. Okay, let's go talk to Eothas.
You descend into the ancient winding streets of Ukaizo. Battered by storms for thousands of years, the ruins bear the marks of their role as the lone witnesses of the god's great secret at the center of the city. The houses and boulevards are pierced by great spears of luminous Audra. There are no ashen bodies, no birds, no sign or sound of any life. But with every step, the rhythmic pounding in the distance draws nearer. Soon, you can feel the vibration traveling up your spine. As you approach the center of the city, the weathered architecture gives way to more luminous Audra, piercing the ruins, eventually overtaking them entirely. Cresting the top of a fallen tower, you finally get a clear view of Eothas. He stands, legs astride, next to a great stone monument ringed with 11 cavernous alcoves. All but 3 hold a gargantuan skeleton, bones scrubbed clean by the city's storms. An immense Anguithan machine floats above the monument, suspended by invisible energy emanating from a well of light beneath it. Great brass rings spin around a core of metal and Audra at the machine's center. Periodically, Eothas's massive arms swing back. The movement alone is enough to draw great gusts of wind toward him. When they come down on the machine, the impacts are accompanied by eruptions of electricity, fire, and smoke. The hundreds of luminous Audra pillars across Ukaizo sympathetically dim in a rippling wave that spreads out from the machine.
I think that's you right there in this little hill.
The only safe route to the god is a steep ascent along a monstrous pillar of luminous Audra. Intertwined with fragments of Ukaizo's ruins that it has carried through the centuries, the pillar bends in a long arc, towering above the machine. The pillar levels out near Eothas's head, a silent observer to the destruction of the machine it has grown beside over thousands of years. You weave your way along a treacherous rain-slicked path up the pillar's skyward side. As you arrive at the top, you catch Eothas's attention. Fist pulled back, he pauses to observe you. With the same gentleness he showed at Ashen Maw, he lowers his arm and turns toward you.
To see Ukaizo in this way. It may be hard to picture, but this city was once full of life. The Huana, yes, but also kith from many other cultures. Great hanging trees shadowed these boulevards. Gardens sprawled across the open rooftops. Each spring, a festival procession would wind its way from the hillside into this valley. The celebrants would pass through a steep walk among the stalls of foreign merchants, flowers falling upon them from all sides. All people of all nations together in a celebration of new life. Such was the power and beauty of lost Ukaizo. But what of you, Watcher? Why have you followed me? Have you come to bear witness to the breaking of the wheel?
Mortals are going to need a head start on things to prevent the gods from re-establishing control. You need to inspire them.
Mortals are already inspired. It is what has pushed them on for hundreds of generations to reach this point in time. Animancy is poised to go far beyond what we Engwithans ever discovered. Why does Helia think I should lend more power to mortals?
I want to ensure that the gods don't have the upper hand in the struggle to come.
It's true that even with all the advances in animancy, the gods will enter into this era much more well prepared than mortals. From where should mortals draw their inspiration?
They should look to the future. Their imagination and inventive spirit should guide them.
Very well, Watcher. I will ensure that mortals are inspired by my passing, that my power not be expended in vain. Indulge me in a moment's curiosity. There is something I wish to know about Eora, about Kith, that I can only learn through your eyes.
Go on.
You followed me all this way, dodging an armada, navigating an impenetrable wall of storms, voyaging across uncharted seas, with the machinations of gods echoing in your ears, all the while trusting in the institutions of Kith to get you this far, and earning their trust in turn. Whatever else happens this day, that much is remarkable. I believe that mortals possess the strength to collaborate and shape a future of their own design. Not all of my brothers and sisters agree. By relying on others and coming together in a time of crisis, you illustrate my point. The gods will witness you and question their assumptions about how responsible, empathetic, and sophisticated mortals can be. What inspired your decision, Watcher? Did the choice echo your foundational beliefs? Or were you influenced by observation?
We need ingenuity if we're going to survive. It was a logical choice.
I thank you for your perspective. Yours is not the only opinion that concerns me, but for the moment, it offers much to consider. All I ever wanted for mortals was growth, transformation. Once, my brothers and sisters shared this goal. Some have forgotten themselves, giving into fatalism or tyranny. Others have succumbed to apathy. It brings me great sorrow that crisis is the only way to set the future in motion. Would that I could pass the responsibility of heralding your darkest hour to another. Never forget that trust and coordination between mortals brought you to this place. Your future is built on a foundation of hope, and you have laid the first stone.
Okay, because this is the new version, version 5, I want to just explore a little bit about the questions that we can ask him. Before this is over, it's my turn to ask questions.
Ask. You are entitled to any answer that is mine to give.
What happens after the wheel breaks?
The great work of the Engwithans falls to ruin. Reincarnation as we know it will end. Souls which currently await new life in the beyond will be born into the world as normal, but their numbers will not replenish. Anything that dies will tarry in the void of the in-between, awaiting the motion of a wheel that no longer turns. Once the beyond has emptied, every birth will be hollow-born. Other maladies of the soul may follow and plague those who linger in life. Unless mortals work together to carve a new path, the essence of life will be trapped in the netherworld. Gods will starve. Eora will grow silent and cold.
Why won't reincarnation just go back to how it was before the wheel?
When we tamed the cycle of reincarnation, We broke what had once functioned naturally and without intervention. The flow of essence will not normalize on its own. Essence will simply pool in the void of the in-between, never passing through Adra networks to the beyond. The dead will be left to wander in darkness, confusion, and sorrow.
Boudica sees this as a test, one we're destined to fail.
Boudica is entitled to her opinion. If the intent of this test is to justify an uprising to come, that is more worrisome. The other gods must decide for themselves if mortals are ready to dictate their future. Should Boudica's tyranny prove the only alternative, mortals must prepare for a terrible conflict. Your perspective bridges eternity, Watcher. Many will look to you to mediate differences that could shake the very foundations of Eora.
You've had millennia to do this. Why now?
For several reasons. My strength was diminished after the Godhammer bomb, and assuming this form took incredible effort. With so many vying for control of the Deadfire, I also saw a ripe opportunity for mortals to cast aside their differences and stand together as one. They have never been more powerful, more capable. Because of this, the gods must justify their importance or be proven obsolete.
How long till Eora is devoid of all life?
A generation or more. That much essence is already poised to flow into Eora. But unlike an hourglass, no amount of turning will compel the sand to reverse its course. Should you choose, you could lay down your burden and trust in your children's children to set matters right. That depends entirely on you. By your reckoning, there are still good years to come. By ours, time is short.
Mortals aren't the only ones in jeopardy. What you're doing threatens the gods.
Yes. They must work toward a solution or perish. If that task is beyond their skill, then they no longer deserve their position. I would have them justify their right to lead. That could mean swallowing their pride and hearkening to the wisdom of mortals. Some, I expect, will perform better than others.
That's all. What happens next?
I must attend to my final work now. I cannot delay any longer. You have carried a heavy burden across the Deadfire, Watcher. Before I go, I would rid you of it.
No sooner have Eothas' words entered your mind than you hear one final dissonant ring of the chime within you, then silence. The knot that formed when the Pallid Knight first addressed you in the Beyond is now gone.
You are free now, as free as any of us can be. Many will come to you for help in the years ahead. Animancers, priests, even the gods themselves. I have great hope for you. But always remember that your future is for you to decide. Use your freedom well.
Eothas squares himself to the machine. As you move to a safe distance, he draws his fist back and resumes his assault. The blows rain down with increased fervor, but the machine perseveres in spite of his efforts. Spreading his arms wide, Eothas draws power from the luminous Adra clustered around the valley. The energy courses through his body, limbs overflowing with intense light and waves of heat. He returns to his task, each strike bringing with it the sound of cracking stone and twisting metal, the flickering of luminous Adra across Ukaizo. As the ancient machine finally begins to succumb to his strength, so too does Eothas' body, built to withstand the passage of thousands of years. The great Adra statue has finally been pushed beyond its limits. Cracks appear along the hands, then race up the arms. Eothas does not slow his assault, but continues unabated. its brass rings twisted. The machine spins erratically but withstands the relentless barrage. Eothas stands astride it and pummels the base of the machine. Soul energy begins to flare out from the machine's heart, warping the air with the intense heat. Eothas drives his right fist into the machine's center, the core of metal and Audra. The god lets out a deafening shout, something between a cry of anguish and a roar of exultation. You see Eothas' arm shatter upward from his hand through his elbow. A flash of light and heat bursts from the core, accompanied by a cacophony of destruction. The moment passes as Eothas' shout echoes throughout the valley. Your eyes begin to recover. The god's work is accomplished. The great machine of Ukaizo has been destroyed. The wheel has been unmade. As Eothas' voice fades, the enormity of what you've accomplished sinks in. You have confronted a god. You have rediscovered the ancient city where the wheel was forged, and you have seen the wheel shattered. What comes next is uncertain, but already the legend spreads of the Watcher, who survived Andra's mortar and stood toe-to-toe with Eothas.
Alright, so this is the end of the game. So we get to see all the decisions we made and the effects of those decisions. So let's continue on.
On your recommendation, Eothas disperses his essence and that of the thousands of souls within him to centers of knowledge and learning around the world. Animancers, engineers, wizards, and scholars of all stripes make astounding breakthroughs in understanding and harnessing the phenomena that govern Eora.
So that was the decision we made to look towards the future in order to inspire the people to become inventive, which is kind of what we're going for. More of the animancer side of things. We wanted to promote animancy and that sort of thing.
Under the leadership of Director Castall, and amply supplied with Ukaizo's luminous Audra, the Valian Trading Company unites animancers from around the world. The advances they make together promise to surpass even the work of the Anguithans. While some of these developments prove beneficial to Kith, others are decidedly less so. But such is the price of innovation. What remains to be seen is how, indeed whether, they will restore the cycle Eothas has broken. At Ukaizo, the Valian Trading Company discovers a cornucopia of Anguithan devices and artifacts, as well as vast reserves of luminous Audra. Under Director Castall's leadership, the company is poised to become not only the foremost authority on animancy, but also the dominant power in Deadfire. The Songretta Mea Compressa quickly approves the construction of an academy at Ukaizo, in addition to several permanent settlements. With the Kahanga monarch reduced to a figurehead, the Huana tribes fragment further. Some profit by working with the Valiants, and others find themselves evicted from their old lands. But for many, life continues much as it had before. The Valians' business interests trump their enmity, and they allow most of the Royal Deadfire Company's ships and personnel to remain in the archipelago to trade. Rauatai's legendary cannons pose little threat to them now. After all, the Valians could not want for better leverage than Andra's spire. The storms across the Rauataian mainland subside along with those of Andra's mortar. However, Rauatai regards this respite with a wary eye, ever mindful that the machinery at Andra's spire remains under their foe's control. The influx of Valian business into Deadfire creates an unprecedented opportunity for the Principi Sen Patrena. Though their dreams of conquest have been squashed, there are more than enough prizes passing through to keep the captains in silk and their crews fed and content. And business is good enough that the Songretta is willing to write off more than a few losses with each transit. Despite other tensions across the archipelago, Port Maje remains a model of peaceful, productive cooperation between the Huana and the Valian Trading Company. Though they do not always agree, Governor Clario and Storm Speaker Ikawa work together for the mutual benefit of their people.
Yeah, so if you were to complete Maya's quests, this would actually end up a lot different. She has a quest where she actually winds up killing one of the people. I think it's the governor, Clario. So Port Mage becomes just a bad port in general after that choice.
As the balance of power changes in Deadfire, so too does Nekataka transform. The Valian Trading Company builds up the port in Queensbirth. The company's expanding presence, however, quickly outgrows the dockside district. Company facilities and personnel spread throughout Nekataka. The Kahanga leadership takes responsibility for the welfare of the Raparu, and the Gullet starts to improve. What was once a den of crime, poverty, and illness slowly becomes a quiet haven for the Raparu.
This is because we helped out the Raparu and we asked the prince to intervene and help them out.
Though the loss of Skiarilafis's essence weakens the Water Shapers Guild, Animancers with the Valian Trading Company offer a proposition. In exchange for knowledge of water shaping, they will develop a new source of essence for the guild. Some of the elders balk at sharing their secrets with foreigners, but the partnership that follows proves fruitful for the guild as well as the Animancers. Your brief encounter with Letharn proves deeply influential for the children of the Dawnstars.
So before that, the Water Shapers Guild is interesting because freeing him and with the Hawana, it becomes a problem for them in the end. If you side with the Hawana and you free them. So things overall seem to have improved in general with the Valains being in charge.
Plagued with nightmares and haunted by the deaths at Hesango, Letharn begins questioning his faith in Eothas. At first, his fellow Dawnstars chide him, but that changes as word of Eothas' deeds at Ukaizo spreads. After all, what business have they worshipping a god who denied his own legitimacy? The faith of the children of the Dawnstars fades, but their commitment to the people of Deadfire does not. They continue feeding, healing, and helping the neediest, just as they have for decades. It is no longer a holy mission, but it is a mission all the same. With the Adra of Pokakohara restored, Director Castol establishes a small port at Tikawara. He sends a team of Animancers to study the ruins and their machinery. It is a small operation, but one that brings a measure of stability and prosperity to Tikawara and its people. Given his success with Port Mage, Clario is asked to recommend a governor for the new Tikawara port. Ikawa advises the tribe on working with their new Valian neighbors. It is, by all accounts, a successful and promising venture. Ships continue to disappear at the southeastern fringe of the archipelago, and stories circulate of a colony of vampires and gulls preying on their crews.
This is one of the things that we didn't get to address before, so that's one of the things that I kind of regretfully didn't get to complete a quest to destroy the vampire colony.
The dead flow, an iceberg in the southern sea, continues to grow unchecked. As the ice spreads, so too do wild tales of a hideous dragon rampaging across the Deadfire.
And this is one of the expansions. This is the Beast of Winter. So we actually didn't do that one as well. If you did that, you would have definitely a different outcome for this one.
Word spreads of the primal island of Kazuwari, once home to an arena that hosted bloody competitions and fearsome ordeals. Wild tales whisper that the spilled blood attracted a terrible beast of scale and fang that slaughtered those gathered at the island before destroying the great enchanted statue that oversaw the island's trials. Absent its guiding voice, Kazuwari descends into anarchy.
And this is once again another expansion that we didn't get to.
A vast monstrosity of tentacles and flesh erupts from the Black Isles in the eastern Deadfire, before vanishing into the depths. None know what drives the titanic beast, nor where it will appear next, or what destruction it might wreak when it rises.
And this is the most recent expansion.
Though your adventures alter the destiny of Eora and the balance of power in Deadfire, they also leave a lasting mark on those who travel at your side. Your companions find themselves changed, in ways both big and small. Adair returns to Hisongo, where he reunites with Byrne, the son of his former lover, Ilava. The boy takes heart in Adair's account that Eothas and all the other gods were false, petty, and unworthy of the love of Kith. Realizing how close he came to dying for this cause, Byrne finds renewed purpose in working alongside his uncle to repair the many scars left upon Deadfire by the gods. Under Adair's guidance, Byrne grows into the kind of irreverent, stubborn hothead that would have made his mother proud. And Adair visits her gravesite, often to tell her so. Shodi is not a priestess who understands the meaning of subtlety. As such, she makes her girlish crush on Adair painfully obvious from the moment she first sets eyes on the strapping fighter. Early in your travels, Adair appears discomforted by her persistent flirting. He often grimaces when she sidles up to him, and he takes endless pains to keep their conversations terse and to the point. But after a little smoothing on your part to nudge them in the right direction, Adair makes an effort to view Shodi with an open mind. And Shodi begins teasing the veteran fighter in a more companionable and less amorous manner. After saving each other's hides a couple times and sharing more than a few laughs, the two form an easy, and you suspect, lifelong friendship. Seemingly lit with an inner glow, Shodi takes to a new life of mission work with gusto. She still is committed to shepherding souls forgone, but having realigned her goals with that of her fellow Dawn Stars, she now endeavors to help the living as much as the dead. As you travel the Deadfire, you find her sleeping better and laughing more often. When the time comes for her to return to her temple in Neketaka, it's with a clear wistfulness and much lip-biting on her part. She leaves you with her sickle and a hastily scrawled note. It reads, "A keepsake from a path once walked. Remember me, Watcher, for I will forever dream of you." Aloth renews his commitment to destroying the Leaden Key. With the wheel broken, loosening the god's stranglehold on Kith is more urgent than ever. It is a lofty goal, and one he does not expect to finish in his lifetime. But if there's one thing he's learned from the Watcher, it's that a single person can change the world. You let Romaro go, and the former pirate ostensibly set sail for the trade lanes of the Eastern Reach, the Edier Empire, Old Valia, and the Republics. For the remainder of your time together, Seraphon seems, if not exactly happy, at least contented with the outcome of your confrontation with his former mentor at Sayuka. When he leaves, he does so with little fanfare. Nothing but a roughly scrawled note slipped under your door. "Be seeing you, Cap." You hear of Seraphon from time to time, in rumors and sea tales. He prowls the Deadfire, a brutally efficient killer, never long for any ship and never close to any crew. For assisting the Watcher in securing Ukaizo for the Valian Trading Company, Pallegina is honored in a ceremony at Biajepe, attended by all 5 of the Duke's bells. Duke Ramasi is so overjoyed by his good fortune that he offers Pallegina a boon. She immediately takes the Duke up on his offer by requesting that the ducal charter of the Fremas Mes Conxualias be amended to allow the admission of women. Soberly, the Duke accepts, much to his chagrin. The following spring, the Brotherhood admits its first 5 girl cadets. Following her triumphant return to the Republics, Pallegina is assigned to be the personal guard of the Duchess Sparento. She excels in this role, and is favored by the Duchess above all other members of the Brotherhood. Their close relationship causes friction with the Duchess's husband, the Kanta Maraba. His impotent annoyance becomes the subject of courtly gossip and the inspiration for a well-received farce, staged at the biggest theater in Otsia. Pleased with the Navy's conduct throughout the Deadfire campaign, Maya returns to active duty. She can find a free drink and a sharp salute anywhere she goes in Rawatayan territory. In recognition of her performance, the Navy attempts to give Maya less strenuous work. She flatly refuses, throwing herself into the fray whenever she can. Her rifle never has time to cool. She looks forward to seeing her brother again. So does Ashiza. Takehu distances himself from the problems of the Deadfire, giving the tribes a reprieve from godlike omens. And Gati's silence speaks volumes. The Huana grow to rely on each other, paving a new way forward divorced from their traditions. Soon after he departs Nekataka, distant tribes report of unusual and salacious water sculptures appearing on the shores. These quaint visitations are widely celebrated, the identity of the artist ever an open question. He bids you farewell, suggesting that you seek your next adventure in a brothel or tavern, where consequences begin and end at the front door. He sounds eager to leave old conflicts in the past. Your pursuit of Eothas and your journey to Ukaizo signal the end of forces that have shaped the lives of Kith and the course of nations. The cycle of reincarnation has been broken. The storms of Andra's mortar have calmed. Yet each ending promises a new beginning. As the sun rises over Ukaizo, Kith turn their gaze eastward, wondering at what lies beyond, and at the world they will fashion for themselves. As the Watcher of Cadnua and the former Herald of Berath, you return to your ship and begin the long journey home. You hope for calm weather.
And that is it. That's the end of the game. Hope you enjoyed the series. I definitely enjoyed creating it. So, once again, I thank you for watching. I appreciate it. And I'll see you in another series. Goodbye.